Hello folks, welcome to another episode of Ask the Chief Streaming. I'm your host Chief Sarkan, and today I'm going to do ArcheAge Alpha Crafting Primer video. So today I want to cover all the basics of what I figured out about the crafting system, go over how different things are, and explain a couple of different lessons learned just to kind of give you the feel of what to expect when you get into the crafting. Crafting in ArcheAge has a lot of depth. It also has a lot of choice. It also has a lot of pitfalls that can cost you a lot if you aren't aware of how it works. So here I am standing in front of my farm to get us started. A few things you should know before you really get into it. You're really not even going to pick up crafting until about level 12, 10 to 12. When you come across your first crafting quest that's going to give you the scarecrow and ask you to learn about farming. You can do that right away because you're going to have a quest that's to build a trade pack. And to fulfill that trade pack, you have to grow stuff on a farm, and you can use public farms. And so for example, if you look at the map, public farms are anywhere you got these little things. So you don't have to have your scarecrow put up and pay rent. You can just go to a public farm. However, your goods are only safe there for 24 hours, and if you don't come back within 24 hours and harvest your goods you've planted in that area, somebody can pick them up. And I've actually got successful at getting some extra goods for crafting to get ready for this show because somebody didn't pick up their stuff and I happened to find it. It's not stealing when it's from a public farm. If you plant goods anywhere outside of a plotted area, it's considered criminal activity. So you can plant plants anywhere you want, but inside these housing areas where you put up your scarecrow, they're secure. People can't steal them. So it's important to understand the basics of how that goes, but I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. So anyway, let's talk about the basics of crafting. So inside your skill window, you have all of these professions. You got alchemy, construction, cooking, handicrafts, husbandry, so on and so forth. Farming, fishing, logging, gathering, machining, metalwork, printing, mining, masonry, tailoring, leatherworking, weaponry, carpentry, larceny, commence, and composition. That's 21 trade skills. Now here's the kicker. You can only have 5 of them to the novice level, which means 5 of these you can advance to the next tier. You can do all 21 of them up until skill proficiency of 10,000. So you can see here, as an amateur, I can get my skill to 10,000. So you can do every one of these skills up to 10,000. Then you can only pick 5 to advance. And then to take it to the next level, once you get to 20,000, you can only pick 4. And so on and so forth. So your first 5 that you want to advance, you really need to understand what works good with each other and goes to what you want to do. So I wanted to kind of give the primer of what is here, what you're going to see, and we're going to open up the recipe book in a second and kind of go over that. And so let's get to that. So when you open up your folio, and that's what's called your recipe book, inside your folio are those 21 that currently in alpha have recipes attached to them. And I say that because I made this chart here to try and help me decide based on what skill level you needed to be for each craft to be able to make everything within that craft. So you can see here these 6 crafts have recipes at the 5,000 or 50,000 or master tier. So if you wanted to make this stuff, you would have to skill up to 50,000 or within the 40 to 50,000 range to be able to craft it. So I was trying to make a decision chart. However, this doesn't account for things like fishing that I forgot to put on the list because there doesn't seem to be currently recipes associated with it, but from what I understand in doing research, fishing has an expert level crafting requirement for the fishing pole. So I have to update my chart once they get the rest of the skill sets in there or they add more recipes. But the idea is you could look at this chart and go, oh, Well, I really want to make costume dyes. I think I can make good money at that. So I'm going to go into alchemy, and you're going to get all these different things. You're going to get costume dyes, potions, lunastones, talismans, and so on and so forth. Tailoring, you're doing all cloth armor and stuff like that. Carpentry is just what it says. You're working with wood. So you're making the scepters, the bows, the staves. You're making cabinets and beds and chairs for housing, that type of stuff. Leatherworking, you're making leather armor and working with hides. Masonry, you're working with stone, and this stone is used in house building and stuff like that. Metalworking, you're making plate armors, and you're making metal fishing pole frames, which is used by the fishing craft. And that's why I say, because I can't see the recipes right now, I wasn't associating that the fishing poles were actually made by the fishing skill. I was thinking it was metalworking that did it, or woodworking if you're working with, or handicrafts if you're working with this type of fishing poles. Actually, it looks like you build the frame here, you sell it to a fisherman, and then they, with their fishing skill, can put it together. So this is alpha, so we have work to go. So we keep going here. We got handicrafts. So you only need up to master level or expert to make the highest tier of recipes currently in handicrafts. So you might say, oh, well, I can take handicrafts to expert as one of my 3 that can get to expert, and then I'll pick 2 of these purples. That was kind of the idea of the way it worked. It was a no-brainer. Okay, take handicrafts to this level, and then pick 2 of these to take to 50. But obviously we still have more information to gather. Cooking is just what it says. It's food. Machining does ship supplies, components, and siege gear. Gliders, that type of thing. Weaponry is all the metal weaponry. So they got there. Then commerce, you can see there's 0 recipes that require you to go above 10K. Well, everybody can get every skill to 10K, so it's like these are free. Bingo, no problems, right? So let's get back over to the game here. When you get inside your recipe thing, this is how the window works, is you have categories of recipes. So you'll click on it here, and it lists all the recipes available to you, and then you select it. It's going to tell you the requirement to build it. Do you have any of this? Or to make this, this is the item you're going to make. I'm sorry, correction there. This is the item you're going to make, and it gives you all the information, and it's going to tell you what it's going to cost. And then these are the materials you're going to be required, and it's going to tell you it's cost 5 labor, and you got to be at this kind of workbench. You click down here, some of these are going to have skill set requirements. Well, that was a bad example. So you go to potions. Here, you have to skill up to 20,000 to be able to make this underwater breathing that gives you 45 minutes of underwater breathing potion. And then these are all the materials that are required. So you're going to have to make other potions and then combine them to make the bigger potion. So this is how the skill tree within crafting works. So you can kind of browse through here and kind of figure out which crafts get you excited, because out of 21 crafts, remember 21, only 2 of these you can max out. Only 5 of these you can take between 10 and 20,000. So you kind of want to get an idea, looking at all this, what you can do. So that's the basics of the 2 windows that are involved with crafting. So now let's talk about the farm, because the farm is quintessential to everything you're going to do. And eventually you'll move it to a larger farming plot, and then a housing plot that you also farm on too. And so let's look at this on when you're at a farming plot. Obviously I planted all this last night. Every item you plant has a time requirement, and this is real time. So if I don't do anything with this plant, this one happens to be mature rye, in 21 hours it's going to degrade and it's going to start to die. And then you have to spend labor points to recover it, or you just throw it away. So I'm going to harvest all this real quick and show you how basically that works. And then I'll show you what's going to happen with the chickens and the geese and stuff up here, because there's different things you can do that. And everything, you just have to walk up to it, and it's going to give you a little menu, and it's going to tell you how many labor points it's going to cost you. And as you can see here, I have a max of 1,090 labor points. I regain 5 labor every 5 minutes regardless of my connection status. Online or offline, doesn't matter. But I can only do as many jobs, and everything you do is going to require labor points as far as crafting is concerned before I have to stop and wait for it to respawn. So anyway, so I'm going to click on this, and you can just hit F or you can right click, and you're just going to harvest it. And you can see you get experience. Everything you do in this game gives you experience for your character. So as a crafter, I could do nothing but craft and get to max level in the game. Mind you, I have to have a way to make money beyond, because everything you do on your farm also costs money to buy this stuff to be able to plant the seeds. But as you can see here, I got 7 hours left on this cotton, and when I go to plant more cotton, I'll show you how the seeds work and explain all that. But let's get all this harvested up real quick. Alright, look at that, 45 experience per plant. And the reason why I'm planting lots of cotton, because I have a trade pack mission where it says here, create a Falcon trade pack which requires cotton. I need 200 cotton plus a merchant certificate to combine into a trade pack. And we'll get into the trade pack stuff here in just a sec, because we're going to do that trade pack mission as part of this show today. So bear with me, hold on. Let me get all this cleared up. As you can see, it takes time to do this stuff. Everything in game takes real time when it comes to this stuff. And you can see you got lots of farms around me. Oops. Oh, so see, my small beans still have 1 hour and 57 minutes. So there's a difference, showing you a status where I planted it and I still have almost 2 hours before I can harvest it. If I was to do this uproot, I get nothing for it. Basically, I'm removing it and it's just gone. I will recover no seeds. I will get no beans out of it. It's just gone and destroy it. And this doesn't matter if it's on a farm or out in the wild. So if I'm just walking around and I find something that says anything that says time left, a wild plant, and I uproot it, it's gone. And that means nobody can harvest it, nobody can use it, and you got to wait for the world to respawn another plant for it to grow up again, for the chance of somebody being able to harvest it. Now if it's somebody else's plot, illegal plot, you may want to uproot it to prevent them, because they're basically trying to farm on public land for free. Ooh, mature rye, time left. So there, we've harvested everything I can harvest. See, it says shovel. It means uproot it. It means I can't harvest it. Now, I planted a tree also. Now, here's the cool thing about trees. I can chop them down because I need the lumber, but I can also climb a tree just for the fun of it. Let's climb a tree. Da, 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 da. Now, I'm assuming there's some benefit for climbing a tree at some point, but for now, it's just cool to get a good look around. And you can only do this, or so I found, with trees on my plot, because I've never found a tree I could harvest in the wild, but assuming you can climb it too. But I thought that was pretty cool that they gave us a little fun thing to do with a tree. But I need to chop it down because I need the wood. And it's actually going to fall. Timber! Hope it didn't fall down. There you go. Last time it fell over. Alright, so now with plants, or animals. Now the difference between animals is you get options to do with your animals. So here it says I can Feed him barley if I've grown any in advance. So with animals, you have to have food to feed them to be able to get the secondary benefits. Or I can just butcher him if I just want the meat. But so I'm going to spend some money or spend some barley to feed him, and I'm going to make the chicken happy. Now look, it gives me an option to where I can spend 5 leather and gather eggs. So now it's going to lay some eggs for me because I made it happy. And this is how all the animals work throughout, whether it's pigs, chickens, geese, ducks, whatever. So now if I want to butcher it, it's going to say, because I just harvested eggs from it, I'm going to get less meat if I butcher it now rather than wait until it heals back up. So now it's going to look and say, it'll be recovered in 1 hour. So if I want to harvest meat from this chicken and get more meat out of it, I'm going to want to wait an hour. Of course, at that point, I'll have to decide whether do I want eggs or do I want meat. Well, for the sake of today's little thing, I'm just going to clear my property and I'm going to go ahead and chop it. Because positioning, which I'm going to show you soon, is important. You can't move anything once you've placed it. And that's going to be quintessential here shortly. Like putting chickens too close to the scarecrow makes it hard to interface with. Lesson learned. You got to get like right to the right spot so I can get the little pop-up so I can get the eggs. Oh, I can feed my geese. So same thing with the ducks. So I make the ducks happy. Now I can trim the ducks for feathers. And for the same reason, I'm just going to kill them because I want to reposition them. But you can't reposition them without killing them. Oh, there's my pop-up for eggs. So here's one lesson learned. If you put stuff too close to your scarecrow for animals, it's really hard to interface with them. So I've got my duck meat now. So, and that was another reason. I have another quest here was to get the duck meat. So, see if I can get these geese, being that not enough beans. So I have no beans to feed these because they're still growing. Beans are what ducks eat, and they take like 20 hours to grow beans. Let's see here. Oh, there we go. Come on, give me the interface. There we go. So now I've cleared my property of everything but the beans that are still growing over there. Now here's how you have to plan your farm, and this is important because this small farm is not very big. So we're going to open up our inventory and we're going to find our seeds. Let's see here, I got a duckling, I got some rye seeds, and do I still have a tree? I don't have a tree on me, so let me go get a tree real quick. Go. And so soil, I bought some by mistake. Soil is how you recover a wilted plant. So if you forget to log in and harvest your plant within its healthy life cycle, you will need to use fertilizer to recover it. Kind of the same way you feed your animals the right type of food. So like the chickens like barley. So you have to feed the chickens barley to be able to get the eggs. If you have a plant that wilts, you need to use soil. And as you can see here, shortly I'm going to go do some crafting, and I've been building up a whole bunch of resources so we can actually make something. I haven't made anything in game yet, except as part of the crafting quests, so this will be interesting. So anyway, let's go back and do what I was saying. Oh, while we're here, let's go to the different vendors and see what you got. So as you can see, there's lots of, you have to purchase all your seeds unless you find them in the wild, running around, and you have to decide what to grow. And what you grow, depending on how fast it's going to be, so you can see here for a cottonseed, which I just grew a whole bunch of, it takes 2 hours and 52 minutes in a tropical or temperate climate. Well, I'm in an arid climate, which means it's going to take longer than 2 hours and 52 minutes to grow here. I can reduce that a little bit by watering it, but not by much. So depending on what area you're in, and you can see that here, it says temperate, acquire seed from a merchant or from harvest. So seeds do drop when you harvest things. But where you're at is important to the growing. So like their peanuts, you want to be in a tropical area if you want to reduce that 11-hour growth cycle on peanuts. Or may not have extra time, I'm sorry, and so on and so forth. So here you got all these seeds that cost money. As you can see, I'm kind of broke and I'm doing this a little early, but there's lots of different things you can do. So like trying to find something that grows good in the arid. Some of these will grow in any zone too. Sunflowers, it grows in all climates, and the time is going to be the same. So this is where planning out how to utilize your farm for what you want to do is important, because you can only place so much on your ground. Same thing for livestock. The key thing about livestock, as you look here, it's going to tell you what you can get if you make your animal happy. It's also going to tell you what it eats. So like fodder for cows is a package that you bundle up and make from 3 different ingredients, and I'm not sure exactly what it is off the top of my head because I haven't gotten there yet. But you can milk it every 10 hours once it's mature. So if you need milk, you're going to have to raise cows, or you're going to have to buy it off the auction house. And it takes you 1 day and 10 hours to have it grow from a baby. Everything you get is a baby when you buy it. So pigs, the only thing you're going to do is butcher them, but it takes 14 hours and it takes combined feed. Ducks, you can get duck down, which are like feathers, but you need beans to feed them. So you have to grow the beans. And as you just seen, and I told you earlier, beans take like 20 hours to mature. So before you go buy a bunch of ducklings, you need to have some beans on hand if you want to be able to collect the duck down. If you're just going to butcher them, well, then you don't need the beans. You buy the duck for 8 silver, you let it grow up after 2 hours, and you butcher it. So if you're just using it for cooking, there you go. But if you want the duck down, you need the beans to make them happy before you can trim them, and then you have to come back every hour, feed them again to be able to pluck them again. So if you're trying to get the materials and need a bunch of duck down, you're going to want a bunch of ducklings, a bunch of beans, and come back every hour to maximize your profits. So crafting in real time is important to understand how all this plays together and how you balance it out. So you got all your different animals here. Now if you're into trees, you have to buy samplings. Now the key on the samplings is how often you can harvest something. So like here's apples. Well, if you need apples, you can harvest apples every 11 hours, but it takes 14 hours for the tree to mature the first time. You can also chop the tree down for its wood, which is fine. But you want to know how many spots it's going to take for that sampling on your plot. And it doesn't tell you in the tooltip here, but it's going to be important for you to learn this, because trees can take 1, 2, or 4 spots of space on your property because of the root system. And this is what we're getting ready to show you when I go to the plot. When you plant stuff, you only have so much room. So you got to really maximize where you put stuff. So let's go back and plant stuff so you can see that. I know I'm covering a lot really quickly, but hopefully this helps you. So now that you're at your plot, you're going to open up your inventory and you're going to say you want to plant something. So you're going to right click and you're going to say, oh, there's my planting area. Now notice how the little flower circle is showing you how big of an area, and the pink dots are showing you the scope size of my plot. So you can see it's a tiny plot. The key thing about this tiny plot that you want to keep in mind is you can have as many of these plots as you want. Once you've got the Scarecrow certificate, which you earn from a quest or you buy, and the wood, and I'm not sure how much wood lumber you need. You need to take wood, convert it into stacks of lumber, and then you have to have the lumber to build your quote-unquote fence. Like here, this guy's actually built a fence, which is decorations for your plot. But anyway, to get back to this, you can see by the size when you go to plant something, I can't fit this in between there, even though it looks like there's space, because the minimum size of that circle doesn't allow it to fit in there. So paying attention to your placement, I didn't actually place this very well in this corner. This one should have been right about here, and then this one could have been out a little bit farther to maximize my space. You can get them in pretty tight, but you really need to play with it to maximize your area, and then you just right click and plant it down. Now once you've planted your seed, it's going to tell me it's 2 hours and 51 minutes and 53 seconds to grow. However, if I've gone to a water or a well and gotten myself water, which is free, you walk up here and you say you're going to use 1 labor point to water your plant. So you water your plant, you get some experience. Now it dropped it down to 2 hours and 34 minutes. So basically I sped up the growing cycle for that plant. So before I place some more, let's take a look at the tree. And the reason why it's important if you're going to plant trees to either wait until you have a bigger plot or be very mindful of where you place it. Because see how much room it takes up? If you plant a tree, you're taking up a ton of your plot that you can't put anything else in, because wherever that circle's at, it's going to prevent you from putting anything else in there. So if I don't put this as close to those plants over there, I'm wasting space. And notice you can't overlap your Scarecrow, which is a part of your plot that you cannot change. When you put your Scarecrow down, you can change what direction it points, but that's about all you can change. So I put my tree down. Now look how tiny it is. It says it's got 3 hours and 59 minutes before that tree is fully grown. So let's walk up here. There's no watering of a tree. It's just going to be what it is. So before I keep going, there's also interfaces with your Scarecrow. So you can click on this and it's going to tell you about your Scarecrow garden. And it's going to tell you the fees that require and gives you options to change permissions. So when you get to a certain point, you can say, well, anybody in my guild can do stuff on my property. And then they can come in and either take care of it, harvest it for you, plant stuff for you. You can make it a community event with your guild. You can do it with your family. You can designate people or friends as family, and the same thing. You're now sharing upkeep, resource, and management of your farm by selecting that. Or you can open it to the public and anybody can use it. The downside of opening it to the public is obviously anybody can take your stuff. But you can also prevent the removal of decor if you don't want that as part of the option. So decor affects how your property, like this fence, I'm not sure what it does. Maybe it increases growth time. I haven't got into the decor yet, but it does things for your plot. I know in houses you can get buffs in your housing for that. So you can do this, but it also tells you how many decor items you can place and what bonuses they give for that decor. It tells you who's your tax collector. It's going to tell you how much tax is required. So my upkeep is until this date I am protected, but after that date, if I don't pay my gold in taxes, my property becomes public and somebody can take my stuff. So you want to pay your taxes if you want to maintain your farm. You can also demolish your farm and move elsewhere. The problem with that is you lose the wood it took to build it. So you want to have wood. You'll get your certificate for your scarecrow back, but you'll lose the wood. So you have to have plenty of wood to build a new farm somewhere else, or you're stuck on public property until you've grown enough trees or found trees in the wild to give you the wood. So it's important to know. You can also sell it if it was like a house. So if you have a house, then you could potentially sell that rather than demolish it, because you've already invested the money into building it. You could sell it, transfer ownership to somebody else instead. So that's your interfaces with your garden, with your house, etc. So let's go ahead and finish planting, and then let's go see if we can craft something. See if I got room for another tree here. Oh, let's put some, see if we can fit some rye. Oh, nope, I don't want the rye. We'll put, let's see if we can get this all nice and tight in here. Put that there. Oh, not quite enough room in between there. That's all right. See how I'm kind of doing the best I can to get it all tight in there. Put this chicken over here, or duck over here. Now the key about livestock when you place it, first time you click, it's going to tell you, what do you want to do? Do you want to rotate it? You can make it change direction. You can hold shift if you want to rotate by 15 degrees. So it rotates faster. And then you just control to adjust your view in case you're really trying to get specific. And then you just click it to place it. Now notice, it's a baby. It says in 2 hours and 51 minutes I'll be able to interact with that duckling. Now remember, we want to go back up here and water our plants. Oops. See, anything you get in too close to the scarecrow becomes difficult to work with. Now I know that I don't have any more seeds on me, so let's go ahead and see if I can fit another 1 or 2 trees in here just to fill up the plot. Not like I'm going to have room for anything else once I'm plant those. So I got 3 trees. I don't think I have any more seeds on me. Ooh, I got some hay bale. Got some cotton, some spice. I don't think I got lucky and procced any seeds. Alright, there we go. So that's the basics of the farming plot. And as you can see, everybody's got their own choices of what they want to do. And notice, because it's on their property, you can't do anything with it. You can just look at it. Now let's go to a crafting station and see what we can make. Now notice how this one says he's hungry. This goose is hungry. It hasn't been fed. Don't worry about it. It's not going to die. It just means that before you can do anything with that, it needs to be fed. Or you're going to get reduced benefits out of it. So let's go to our bank here. And let's see what we can collect. I don't think I have room for everything, but we'll see what we can do here. Actually, I'm not going to have room for a lot of stuff. Okay, let's redo this. Cooking, cooking, cooking. We're going to go cook here first. I need the 200 loom for my quest. If you put it in the bank, you can't use it. Dried jerky ingredients, report to the cooking researcher. So I need, let's go see what that's about. Cooking ingredients. Duck meat and lavender. So let's put the lavender and the duck meat in the bank so I don't actually accidentally use it. Let's see here. The cotton for is another quest. So which one was that one? Okay. Nope, wrong one. Trade routes for falchion, that's the 200 cotton. So we're good there. Let's see here. Cooking. Oops. These are for alchemy. Alright, that's enough. So we're going to go down here to the town and we're going to find a cooking station and see how we cook. We're doing pretty good. We're still at 979 of 1100 labor points. So here in almost every town you're going to have these crafting stations and crafting vendors to be able to do stuff with. So like here's handicraft station, a smelter, armor maker, cooking. So we got to go over to the cooking pot. And it's going to open up right to our cooking thing. Now you can see our categories. We have foods, and you can just kind of click through here and see what you have available. Do you have the right ingredients to cook something, and what's missing? I'm hoping I'll actually have something I can make. So here we go. I can make some stuffed steamed chicken. Oh, but I don't have a proficiency of 500. Scrambled eggs. I can make scrambled eggs. But I need spice. Spice is a vendor purchased only, and it's 25 copper. So I'm going to look here and see how many spice I can make. And it makes a stack of 3. And it gives me a strength and spirit bonus of +9 for 30 minutes. Is there anything else I'm close to being able to make? Ah, dried potato soup. Gives me 30 mana every 20 seconds. So that's a short-term thing. Let's see here. What about drinks? Got anything close on the drinks? Nope. But you can take a look here and go, oh, well, if I had some olives, I'm getting close to being able to make this, but it's cooking proficiency 500. So yeah, we're not doing so good. Fishing bait. We can make fishing bait. Specialty goods require higher skill levels, so we're not going to do that. So we're back to scrambled eggs for a while. So scrambled eggs, I can make 3 of these because I have plenty of eggs and I have some mushrooms. Now mushrooms can be grown or they can be found in the wild. I got all mine in the wild. So I need 3 blue salt. So we come over here to the cooking vendor and we buy 3 blue salt. And you just right click on it, comes down here. It's going to tell you the price and how much money you're going to have left once you purchase it. It's not how much money you have total. I made that mistake the first time. I'm like, okay, I was trying to do the math in my head. No, if I remove this, now it tells me how much money I have total. So it's telling you how broke you're going to be once you finish buying this. And then you can hit purchase. So now we can come over to our cooking pot. We can go back to scrambled eggs, and now you can see, because we have blue salt on us, it shows us what we can make. We can make, because we have 2 blue salt here, if we had 500 cooking proficiency, we could make this. We don't have 500 cooking proficiency, so it's red. If we come down here, it says, oh, well, I can make dried potato soup. And I can only make 1 of these. So actually, if I buy 1 more blue salt, I can make more. So I'm going to go ahead and craft this dried potato soup. And it's going to show you the animation. Not that you can see it with my window blocking it. And it's going to come up, and you're going to see we got this. Now, the key thing about crafting is there's a random generator where when you cook something, you may actually proc and make something of a better quality when you cook it. It's random, but you can do. So I can say, and here I can say make max quantity, and it'll automatically compute it. But I'm just going to close that, and I'm going to go ahead and buy 1 more blue salt and get it over with. And then I'm going to cook 3. And craft. And now we're cooking away. And as you can see, I've made scrambled eggs before. And you can see this takes time. Some crafts will take even a whole lot longer to do that. So there it says, I acquired 3 scrambled eggs. And you can watch your chat window, which you can't see because my face is in the front of the chat window, if you've earned something else. And it tells you what you lose and what you gain. And there we go. I've got a whole bunch of scrambled eggs. Up to 11 of them now. Now, if I was to... Also, you can do things like look for stuff. So if you only want to display something, you can look for it. Right now, I think this interface needs to be increased. Give you different options. But right now, this is what we got. So I have to just kind of click through here and say, do I have anything else that I'm close to being able to make? Except if I buy something. Well, this one, but I can't make it because I don't have the skill. Back to the drinks. Do I have any more cooking supplies that I could do if I'm even close? And it doesn't look like it. So basically, I'm done with cooking because I just don't have the resources to do anything else. So let's go over here. How about alchemy table? And see if I'm close on anything. Actually, let me go to my bank here. See, one thing that's going to really, you're going to get very good at is inventory management. So now I want to go through here and get rid of everything that's for cooking only. Chiefly used in cooking, so we don't need the spice, sunflowers, rye. Okay, this one's alchemy. Alchemy. And you'll learn this as you get better. Don't need the eggs. It's a quest item. Cooking. Cooking. And I try and have this organized in my bank so I know what's for what. Okay, that one's used for alchemy and cooking, so we'll leave that one there. Cooking. I know those are for alchemy. Cooking. Okay, here I got a green onion instead of just a regular. That's alchemy. Local specialties, that's slightly different. And logging. Local specialties. Alright. We'll put some of that in our bag. So, another thing, so here's the well I was telling you about. If you just click on the well, you fill up your water. Sorry, I'm bouncing around a little bit. I'm trying to give you a flavor of all the different stuff you have to do. This is actually what crafting entails. It's a lot of time management. It's not a bad thing. It's just something you got to get used to. So, we can come over here and we can work with our stone. So we have stone in our bag, and it says I can do, if I had the skill, I could mass produce stone. As it is, I don't. So I'm going to spend 3 labor and 3 stone to get some stone. So let's do max quantity and craft all our stone. You can't do anything with raw stone, so you have to make it into stone. As you can see here, to make sturdy brick, I have to have it as stone already. So you're going to have to process it all. But as you can see, I'm getting experience for doing it. Once you start it, I think you can close the window. You don't need it open. So we can close all that down and just craft away. Ooh, going horse. And while it's doing that, if you look over here, we can look in here and see that our masonry is going up in skill points as we're doing it. So we're up to 55 of 10,000. And remember, if I want to take it over 10,000, I have to choose to advance it by increasing this button. I do not recommend hitting this button in alpha right now if you're not actually trying to increase something in skill, because you will crash the game. It's a bug. So now we can go back here and go, look, oh, is there anything I can craft? Well, if I want some sturdy stone, I have to go buy some polish. As you can see here, this is saying I need 10 sturdy stone if I want to make a rising star stone. So I have to take bricks, turning it into sturdy stone to make rising stone. I can make a brick pack, which is used for a trade route. I can make gunpowder if I have raw stone and diluted stone polish. So I was incorrect on the fact that there would be nothing you would ever need raw stone for. Fireworks there is. So here we are. We're learning something. And then hereafter stones. Hereafter stones are the main reason why you want to make stone to start with. So if I have 6 of these luminites, I can make the hereafter stones. Hereafter stones let you jump around the world really, really quickly, because opening up your inventory, you use these with this book. You open up this book and you can say, oh, I've been to all these locations, where do I want to go to? And we're going to do this here in a little bit. I'm not going to go ahead and make some stones right now because I still have plenty over here. But I can jump around the world using these. Well, you need stone to make the luminite, so, or make those. Okay, so let's go over here to smelt. Now smelting is metalworking or weaponry, right? And it'll only display what you currently can make based on your area. So we're going to go here. We're going to go metal. I can make a silver agate because I happen to have 3 silver. So we'll craft our silver. We'll craft our copper. And we'll craft, oops, our iron. Now, before I do that, let's see if there's anything else I can use the iron for, straight up as it is. Pure iron, let's see here. If I had 50,000 skill, I could mass produce iron. So that's a maxed out mining ability. So if you think you're going to do a lot of mining, you may want to take it to the master level. Specialty goods. Nothing here, it's all 10,000. So we'll just craft 20 of those. Get our experience. Bingity bangity boom. And while it's doing that, I am going to talk about one little thing. I am working on a project, and I'm going to probably put this out later with a link from my video to the spreadsheet, but I'm going to make a spreadsheet. I want to learn that when you click increase, what each bonus there is, besides the recipes you're able to manufacture, what bonus do you get for advancing that skill? For example, I think printing, you're able to do more than one print job at a time. I seen that somewhere when I was browsing earlier trying to figure this out. Fishing, you'll be able to use better fishing rods. Well, when you hit this increase button, a pop-up will tell you. So this is going to take a community effort to figure out what you get for every craft, for every advancement bonus. Some of them is going to be the same thing over and over again. It's just going to be a better version. But that is what we need to figure out as a community. And I would really like to make an add to this chart. So it would say, advancing to apprentice, alchemy lets you proc 10% more, for example, and or get 1 extra potion per combined. Whatever the tooltip is, I don't know what it is. Maybe over in the Russian or Korean or whatever, somebody's figured this out already, but so far I've been unable to find it. But I think this would be a phenomenal chart to add into this so everyone could go, oh, based on all of this information, these are the 2 crafts that I want to be a master in. These are the 3 that I want to be an expert in, and so on and so forth. I want to make this decision chart viable for people to decide, because I am a planner. When I start a game, I want to know where I'm going to be at end game for crafting. So you got to choose. Just like your class, you want to be prepared. What are you going to do in advance? Like, okay, so now handicrafts, we can come over here and we can try and make stuff, but I don't want to worry about that yet. I'm just trying to manufacture my raw resources. Where's the wood one? I thought I seen it. No. Where's that? Maybe it's on the other side. Nope. Oh. No, it's not behind. There's our leather. If we had any leather to put together, we'd come to a leather station. Oh, here's our weaving loom. We can make fabric. So we can make some cotton. Oh, it tells me how many cotton I have total. Oh, I do have 150 cotton on me. Wow, look at that. So if I do max quantity, I can make 18 of these. But before I do that, no, I'm going to finish my quest that needs me to turn in cotton. Where's the saw? There's that. Anvil. So now we come over to the anvil. I can make, if I had 2 leather and this, I could make myself a steel fishing pole. Interesting. Weaponry. So let's go ahead and talk about this while we're talking about weapons and armor. Weapons and armor, don't be in a hurry to craft it. Your first level of real crafting of gear is going to be around level 20 for the first set. Where's my notes on this? So, there we go. Sorry, I'm making all kinds of swishy noises here. So, your basic armor, you can max out, let's see here. This is not my sheet. Anyway, so there's different tiers of crafting of armor. So your first set is around level 20. Well, I'm level 17, so if I start making gear, you can see minimum level for this shield is 20. So up until level 20, if you want to be an armor or a weaponsmith, you're just going to be saving resources and getting ready for it. Or you can start making it and selling it to those that are above that level. So for example, here, this is a shield. It's going to tell you my stats that I'm going to get out of it, the materials that are required, but personally you can't benefit from it until you're level 20. It is going to be better than any level 20 gear you're probably going to get as a drop or from a quest, but it is important to note you can't use it. Where is... So let's go. Alright, I'll get the wood later. Let's go to alchemy. So alchemy is your potions. This is your healing potions and stuff like that. So I'm going to just click through here. Ember catalyst and a bottle. Both of these are purchased. So if I want to make some health every 20 seconds, I can buy these and use these materials to make that. Let's see here. Is there anything else I can make? Nope. So right now the only thing I can currently make is Hushed Voice of the Star. If I go buy bottles and Ember Catalyst. Under the dyes. Dyes and oils are used for other crafts. So like here, for making cloth armor. Well, using alchemy and combining this, I can help a tailor make cloth. Here's some dye if you want to use dye. So these are components needed in other recipes. Under alchemy, if I have some luminite, I can break it down into the powder using these. Talismans. Talismans are an interesting animal. They are needed for building vehicles. So it says talisman, you would automatically think, oh, it's something I wear and I use for part of my armor. But no, here talismans is actually part of other things that are used in other skills. Like these are for building on ships. This is ship's engine coolant. So they're actually used in vehicles. Luna drops are different. Luna drops are used to increase stats. These are like buffs for your items. Same thing with Luna stones. It adds an effect to your armor. And you craft these by finding these stones. So the only thing it looks like I can make alchemy-wise is these Hushed Voices, and I can make 3 of them, so I need 3 Ember Catalyst and, wow, 5 bottles. So we'll come over here to the alchemy. Let's see how much Ember Catalysts. I need 3 of them. Bottles, I need 15 of them. Oops, too much. Now I can come back here, and I can make 3 of these and scale up. So, as you can see here, with so many crafts, so much potential, you're going to go broke really quick if you don't specialize. So you need to decide early and decide what you're going to grow to support your craft, or what animals you're going to raise to support your craft, and focus on one craft at a time. Otherwise, if you're like me, you can see inventory management's become a nightmare. I got too much stuff. I have no money to do all the different crafts. But I wanted you to get a feel of how overwhelmed you can be if you don't have a plan. So now let's empty my inventory. Except what I need to do my quests. Oops. I need that. Oops. We can keep that. Those are what I needed to do my quests. Put the rest in the bank. And let's see here. So, now let's go over crafting quests. So, crafting quests involve trade routes and making packs. So, if I expand my map here, craft specially plain bedding and deliver falchion plains bedding to Gildastar Trader. So I gotta start here, and it's probably gonna have me deliver it to here. So with that, let's pop over to Falkorth, to Windsleave. So if we look here, it's taking me from here to Windsleave. Where the heck is Windsleave? We might not be able to do this right now. Where is Windsleave? Ooh, this is a good one. Arkham Iris. Oh. Well, where's Arkham Iris? Oh, it's right back here. So, so right here. So we're going to have to take a craft thing from over there and deliver it here for this quest. However, before I do that, Researcher Cayenne. So we're going to go to Avalon and deliver our strawberries. So, now remember I told you how we can use this for a quick travel. We're going to go to Avalon and say open world gate. So this is how we use those stones to get around quickly rather than walking all the way over there. Unfortunately, you can't use these. Oh, and by the way, you have to jump through them. You can't use those when you use the trade packs. That's a keynote. Or it would invalidate the whole need for a trade route. So we have arrived. Now we can look here and see that I need to report. Let's see here. Down there. Oops. Where's my extra bars? Well, that's interesting. My shortcut bars went away. There it is. And this got moved down. I just noticed that. Interesting. There we go. There's a few bugs still in the game. Alright. Let's go a little faster here. Now remember what I told you about public farms? So this is a public farm. No scarecrows involved. I mean, there's scarecrows there, but they're controlled by other people. So people have put stuff here to grow for free. There's no tax, there's no overhead, but it's only good for 24 hours. So here I am delivering my jerky. Or it's going to tell me it wants me to make the jerky now. You should have the ingredient. Throw the ingredients in cooking pot. So here we're doing the crafting quest. Let's see here. So if we go over here to the cooking pot, and it wants us to make dried duck jerky. And once again, we need a blue spice. So we're going to have to buy it. Just because it's a quest doesn't mean they give it to you. And craft it. And we've completed the quest. And as you can see, it says, hey, we're all done. Ah, the duck turned quite out nicely. Receive our reward. Now that you've got the hang of livestock, let's move to a bigger fare. Today you learned how to prepare smoked goose. To make smoked goose, we need goose meat and irises. So, raise some geese, get some irises, and you're ready to go. Now, we can go over here. We got an alchemist quest too. So, each time you do a crafting quest, it opens your expansion to another quest. So now it's saying, hey, you know what? Make some love potions. Well, had I known this, I might not have spent it. But here, it's leading you down the road of what to make next. So if you're just starting in crafting, get the quest, grow what they want, turn it in, plant the next thing that they request, do the and work your way up. I think, really, for me, if I would start it over, I wouldn't have planted and spent all my money for random stuff. I would have said, oh, hey, I need goose and irises, so now this is what I'm going to go put up on my property. But I just started buying stuff and growing stuff randomly before I realized what I really needed to do. So here's the public farm I was talking about. You can run around here, and if you happen to get a pop-up that says, hey, I can harvest this, it's because somebody didn't come back within the 24-hour period, and it's free game. Like I said yesterday, I actually found some stuff on accident and realized that you could actually pick something up. Today it looks like everybody's doing pretty good, and they've remembered to come back and check their stuff, or they're watching it. Because some of this stuff doesn't have a very long growth cycle. So, but what we're going to do here is we're going to run over to the storage vendor, which should be right over here, and see if I already have goose and irises in the bank. I don't think I have irises. Let's look. Sometimes you find stuff and don't even realize you found it. I know I haven't grown any, but I thought I had goose meat, but I probably cooked it. Irises. So, had I not cooked the goose meat already? It's chicken meat, duck meat. Oh, I didn't raise any geese. I raised ducks. I'm sorry. So, had I had some, I could have completed that quest because I did actually have irises in the bank. So let's see about the other one. The other one is love potion number 9. Love potion number 9 needs mushrooms, glass bottles, and catalysts. So let me see if I got any mushrooms still. I only have one. So I have to go grow some mushrooms or find some in the wild before I complete that quest. So basically I'm kind of stuck, but now I have a mission for the farm. Either grow some mushrooms and some geese, before I do some. Oh, here's another thing. You can ride these carriages between spots if you want to get to places quickly. So if I had a trade pack and I happened to be wanting to go that route, you could hop on a carriage. Let's see here. Let's see here. Got public. They're sick. Ooh, so here we go. See how I got that pop up? Somebody has forgotten to collect their stuff. So I'm getting some free potatoes. Because somebody forgot their potatoes. So that's what I meant. Sometimes you can come into a public farm and this is not considered stealing and doesn't give you criminal points because the owner didn't come back. So there's a little trick. If you wanted to be spending all your time in here and hoping somebody doesn't return, you can't get free stuff. But as it is, let's do our last thing, which is starting our trade quest. So we want to get to the Oxen clan. Because I think the only place you can buy the recipe for the Falcorth clan's bedding is to be here. So we have to go to the Oxer clan, because I don't think we can go to farming. Got a quest too. So you're interested in raiding livestock, are there? Too many people think growing livestock, then sell the meat. Don't worry, it'll start you off. Raise bears, ducks, just some ducklings. Ah, so that's an easy one. I just need to get him some duck meat. We can turn that one in real quick. Nice. Since I happen to already have done duck meat, that's a quick quest. I know I'm kind of stretching this video out longer than I had planned, but I wanted to kind of show you the madness that is crafting. The doing all the things. Opening up more quests as you go along. Oh, it wants you to actually raise them, not just bring duck meat. Well, that's a bummer. Okay. That's alright. It's all good. I'm actually raising a duck already, so it doesn't matter. Is there a crafting vendor over here? Just a general one? Carpenter. Craft merchant. Crafting certificate. Nope. Alright. So, let's go to show you how to start a trade quest. And then that'll be the wrap up of this crafting primer. So, cooking, alchemy, guild manager, honor points, skill manager, oh, an auctioneer. So an auction house. Let's take a look what an auction house is. So you can come here and you can shop for stuff. You can see what's for sale and how much people are charging. You can put an item up for sale. It can show you your bid history. So if you want to shop or you want to sell, This is what the auction house looks like, and what people have been making, and how much they're selling it for, and that type of stuff. So there's your auction house primer look. General merchants. So remember, the quest says I need to falchion plain bedding, deliver falchion bedding to the guild trader. And to make that, let's see here, tailoring. Nope.
언제든 환영해요. 대량 주문도 다 소화할 수 있어.
I gotta figure out how. A quality certificate from a crafting merchant. Combine the cotton and the certificate at the Falchion Plains Specialty Workshop. Oh, okay. That's right. So, I just need a quality certificate. But the key is, you can only make this recipe at the specialty vendor. So let's look at our map. Airship, air coordinator. So I'm gonna assume it's gonna be up here at where the 3's at, is your specialty crafting station. Which is going to be down here. And it's going to look like this. So, when you come up to one of these, you have limited things you can make on it. And it's going to tell you, oh, to make this recipe is only available in this location. So once I craft this, it's actually going to put it on my back. And it's going to make me walk really, really slow. So now I have this flag on me that tells the world, hey, I have goods. The thing about this is someone can come along in certain areas and attack me and take this away from me and turn it in for themselves without having to go through the effort of growing the cotton themselves. If they know the trade route and the trade goods, they can make money off of your effort. So when you get higher level, the longer your trade routes are, the farther you have to go. You may have to work with friends to guard you, especially on ships. When you start doing trade routes that go across the water, they come attack your ship, you could lose your trade goods at the bottom of the ocean, or they get stolen from you and people are making money. That's where piracy comes in, the thieving. Now, as you can see here, when I walk, I'm walking really slow. Now, if you look at where I have to go, delivery is number 3. So let's take a look at the map and see where I have to get to. So I'm here, and I have to deliver this by traveling through this area down to here. I have to deliver it all the way over here. And there's a couple of ways to get this, and as you get higher level and better skills, you'll have different ways to get there. But currently, the way is to walk. You can't use portals, you can't use animals. It says you're not supposed to be able to sprint, but currently you can sprint. It does use energy to do it. I don't believe there's any airships that take you there. But if you were to use an airship, you would have to climb these towers and then catch an airship. Or you have to find one of those cart places and ride the ferry or the coach between stations, if you know where the stations stop at. or you can jump on them as they go by. And you don't want to just walk off the road because there's a good chance animals will attack you and fight. Now you can fight while you're doing this. But if you look at your pack, you can't use it. It says you can't use dash, but you can. It says teleporter or glide while carrying a trade pack. So basically you're walking really slow. You can't teleport back like I did to get here. I have to walk the whole way, or like I said, catch the thing as I'm going. And this is a major part of the economy in the game, is making these trade packs and delivering them. The bigger the route, the more dangerous the route, the better the profit that comes from it. The nice thing about this particular route, at least for a little while, is the windstones. It gives you 30 seconds of a run buff, so for a short distance here you can follow the road between windstones and get a little bit of a buff. Or if you sprint, you cancel that buff. But be careful not to use all your energy in case you do get attacked, because that's where your fighting energy also comes from. So, take a screenshot there. We're just going to run for a while here. So at this point, if you want to stop, the primer is basically done, but I'm going to go ahead and keep going with it, just so you can see what it looks like when I turn it in, or you can fast forward in the video. I don't edit my videos currently, so yeah, you get to see the whole trip. You can experience the whole route with me. Fun times. In the future, I will do this type of stuff live, so you can ask me questions, go over specifics, that type of stuff. But you know, hey, oh, don't get hit by the tornado. It picks you up and throws you in the air. But as you can see, there's very detailed and in-depth time commitment to all of this type of activity in the crafting of ArcheAge. One tip I found while the dashing is still working is I'll do it till about half energy, then I'll walk until my energy builds back up, and then half energy again. So it does help you speed up the process. And actually, do I have a food buff that makes my energy restore mana every second for 20 seconds? So if I was in a hurry, I could pop some of this too. But for now, we'll just keep walking. So while we're walking here, we can talk about a few other things about the crafting system. Sets of armor. So I've been researching some of the other stuff. So like for robes, if you have at least 4 items in a cloth set, it increases your movement speed by 10% and reduces your cast time by 10%. So if you wanted to focus on wearing cloth as a caster, the benefit is if you have at least 4 pieces, you reduce your cast time by 10%. If you wear all 7 pieces as cloth, you get 20% speed increase and 20% reduction in your cast time. So that's the benefits of focusing on an armor if you have a set pieces. Keep in mind that because it's an open system, open classes, you are not tied to any armor. If you want to be a spellcaster and wear full plate, you can do that. There's nothing stopping you. But it's the set bonuses you get off of different things that becomes important. So if I look at my character, you know, your stats are important with what you do. So, you know, agility, strength is I'm wearing plate in this particular spot, and actually I get intelligence, agility, and strength. Intelligent and spirit are my main things that I want, but it happens to be what I have. So there's a carriage. I've just timed it for a carriage. If it's going back the other direction, I can ride this to go back to Tiger Spine. So we got lucky. So now we're going to ride a carriage instead of walking to Tiger Spine. Because where do we want to go? We want to go to Tiger Spine, and then we want to go down the corners. So now we're riding a coach. So now I can just talk while we're doing this. So as I was saying about armor, so here I got plate with intelligence. Okay? But usually cloth is heavy intelligence. So I'm going to wear mostly cloth. And then you got your earrings, rings, your weapons. You could use any weapon that you want. And so on and so forth. You got musical instruments, you can buff people. You got your specialty slot. This is where you equip a boat, your hang glider, or your pack goods. So that's kind of where you're looking at different stuff there. So because we caught the trade route, this is making this a little bit easier and going a little bit quicker, so I'm really glad that I was able to catch this. And if we get one that goes from Tiger Spine down to our next area, Arkham Iris, it's going to make this trade route really quick. Keep in mind, somebody could try and rob me right here on this coach. I'm not exactly sure how the stealing of packs and all that. I think it takes a certain skill level or making yourself PvP and all that. But there's trials and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, we'll get to that. Let's get back to the armor discussion while we're doing this. So leather. If you specialize in wearing leather, 4 pieces increases your movement speed by 5% and attack speed by 5%. So it's driven towards the melee people that want to hit really quick, or the archers that are shooting bows, so on and so forth. If you wear all 7 pieces, 10% speed increase, 10% attack speed. So leather is attack speed, cloth again is casting speed. Plate, it increases your defense. Obviously, if you are defense, you got plate. Robes are vulnerable to cutting attacks. Leather is susceptible to stabbing attacks, and plate is susceptible to crushing attacks. So that kind of makes sense, but you want to know what you're weak against if you're going to wear that type of armor. In the crafting sphere of armors, when you craft something, you start out making it as common unless you proc, and then you potentially could get it either uncommon, rare, ancient, heroic, or unique. You can also use your crafting to increase the level of that. So if you get a common, you could spend more resources to potentially upgrade it to the uncommon and then the rare. So you're not stuck with what you made the first time. If you want to invest in it, you can work on increasing the value or the quality of your items. So that's a very interesting feature here in ArcheAge crafting, is you're not always just stuck with what you get. So there's that. Let's see here. Let's see, I already covered that. And I'm still learning here, so you're seeing me flip and flap through a lot of papers just because I take lots of notes. So to reiterate some things, growing. You want to know how long it's going to take to grow it. You're going to want to know what it takes to maintain it. You're going to want to understand how many space requirements are going to be required to have that on your farm. We talked about the fact that farms, you can have as many as you want, but you're going to pay extra taxes after 3. Oh, somebody's talking to me. Where was I? Somebody just commented on my armor saying it was looking good. Is it? Yeah. I think it does look good. Looks like we're pulling into the station. So we have now arrived into Abaton. So we're going to get off. Now, we could either wait for a carriage to take us down to Archem Iris, or we can walk it. Oh, by the way, there is auto walk. So we can just walk it. Since it's not that far, we'll just head south. If we happen to see the carriage come along, we'll jump on it. Otherwise, hey, we want to finish this up. And as you can see here, somebody else with a trade pack coming north. They're probably doing their first one. This happens to be my second trade route that I've done. But you can see how it is. We're just walking, walking, walking. And by the way, when you're on a trade route, if you happen to see something you can harvest or pick along the side of the road, you can do so. Having the pack on your back does not prevent you from doing other activities. You can call your pets. Come on, buddy. Come on, talk to me. You can call your mounts. If you want them instead, you just can't ride them. Or you can ride them. They're just not going to go any faster than you already are. The difference between pets and mounts is pets will fight with you. The current mounts that I have won't fight with me. But you can look at here and you can set him to different things. You can put him in aggressive mode. You can put him in defensive mode. Follow mode. And you can tell him to stand by. You can make him just be out of the way. My pet is actually a kind of a rare pet. It's an Arctic Kittis pet, which I thought was kind of cool that I got a hold of that. Let's see here. What else can I cover for you for crafting primers while we try and get to our final destination, which is right there. Let's see here. Once again, looking at the maps, you got different areas that are going to tell you with these little houses of what type of house and what type of fields you can put there. You can have other types that are only good for scarecrow farms. You got public farming areas. These are all viewable and understandable by the map. See, now if this carriage was going the other way, I would catch it, but we're walking because we're almost there. And every crafting and housing area has the portals to Mirage Island. They have a bank. They have the different crafting stations. So you're not going to be locked into, oh, I can't do anything here next to my farm. That's not true. Another key thing to do is I like to bind my recall next to my home, so I don't have to use one of the portals to get to my house. I don't, if at the end of the day, or like if I'm raising something that's only going to take an hour, the recall stone is every 21 minutes. So I can jump back to my house, take care of my farm, and then leave again to go do back to questing by using the stone to go back. Maybe at higher levels or different ranks, you'd be able to have multiple recall spots? I don't know. But as it is now, I only have one. So I have it next to my house, so I can get back there quickly to maintain my farm. Oh, and like on the other zone, the wind stones, these plasma chargers are the increase your run speed for a short time in this zone. So we'll click on this. And for 30 seconds we can go a little faster. Oh! Not cool! It is alpha, keep that in mind. We crashed just ever so shortly. I'll be right back up to finish this for you. That's kind of a bummer. 1 second. Well, this is a good time to tell you why this is coming back up. So since you found this here on YouTube, be sure to hit the link here someplace and like the video. Follow the YouTube channel if you like what I'm doing. I really appreciate that. You can follow me on Chief_Sarkan on my Twitter to know what I'm streaming. I stream for MMORPG.com as part of their MMOFTW stream team, but I also stream on my own channel, which is also Chief Sarkan. I also write guides quite heavily, so if you like what I'm doing and want to support me, you can do that in-game and out to help with the guide writing. I have WildStar guides over on wildstarfans.net, and I have Secret World guides over at yokaiblog.wiki.com. Oh, we missed the shuttle. So if you're for my current guides, and as I get more guides, I'm starting to write guides for ArcheAge. And as I produce those, I will let you know where those are going to be at when I get there. Right now, the only one I have is that spreadsheet that I send out on Twitter. So if you follow me on Twitter, you can just check all my tweets and you can find a picture of that chart. Like I said, it still needs to be updated, but at least it gives you an idea of the thought process and decision trees you need to make in choosing your crafts. It's going to be really important for guilds to coordinate their crafters. With 21 skills in a guild, you're going to want to have all 21 of them covered by masters. It just makes good sense. So at a minimum, you're going to need 10 dedicated crafters, or at least dedicated enough to get to the master level to cover all the skills for the benefits and the economy of your guild. So that's food for thought for those that like to plan. And I think it's more important that you have a small dedicated guild than to have a massive guild. But that's just me personally. Yeah, so there we go. Looks like we're almost here. We got to turn it into the Guild of Star or the Gold Trader. Now the thing about the two here is you have a choice to either earn Guild of Stars, which are used on Mirage Island to buy recipes, items, and all that kind of stuff. So when I talk to them, you can get the Guild of Star, which is an ancient coin of pure gold, and it can be used to purchase, like it says, housing item, workbench designs, and anything that's sold on Mirage Island. And the price is 50%. Or you can turn it into the Gold Trader, and it's going to tell you, well, if you turn in this trade pack to this person, they're going to give you 90 silver, but it's not going to be mailed to you for 22 hours with a 5% interest. So you're going to get 90 silver, but not right away. So it depends on whether you want to earn money or Guild of Stars. It takes a ton of Guild of Stars for things. So it just really depends what you want. You're going to get the same amount of experience regardless. So now that we have turned that in, you can see here we got our Guild a Star. If we chose the money, we wouldn't have it yet. Now that I've gotten rid of my trade pack, I can re-equip my glider. And so now I can come up here to a little high spot and fly. Of course, I'm not at very high ground. I'm not going to fly very far. There we go. Tuck and roll! Boop, boop. So the last thing we'll cover really quickly here is harvesting in the wild. So, here we found something that's sitting here. It says it's got 24 hours left, so I can harvest it. Notice how it's got the green tree. So I just found something in the wild to pick. Now let's find something that's not mature yet and show you the difference of something that's not ready. So here's some mint, and it's ready to harvest, so we can just harvest it. So not everything has to be grown. Now keep in mind, most things have to be grown. Not everything's going to be able to be found out here. Small sunflower. See now here, see how I've got the dig? If I pick this and uproot it, remember I talked about uprooting? This is not going to be available for anybody, and I'm not going to get it. So this is something that's growing in the wild that if I uproot it, it's just gone. And you're going to have to wait for a respawn and wait for it to grow again. Or if everybody leaves it alone for 2 hours and 55 minutes, somebody's going to be able to come back here and pick that sunflower and get it rather than growing it on their property. So, there you go. I think that's the end of my crafting primer. I hope you found this informative, I hope you found it helpful, and I hope it helps you avoid some pitfalls in the near future when you jump into ArcheAge and try and do all this mad scrambling yourself. Like I said, I really recommend you pick your 2 trade skills that you want to master off the bat, and that's what you focus on. That's what you grow on your farm, besides what you do for quests. Then as you master and do more, then you can branch out. Keeping in mind that when you're out walking around, if it's available to be picked or mined or chopped down, if it's in the wild, collect it and save it, either for yourself or somebody else. You can always process it and sell it to the vendors and make money. You can throw it up on the auction house if it's not going towards a trade skill, or you can support your guild. But don't pass up resources. Keep an eye on that type of stuff. Even if you don't want to be a crafter, if it's out there to be picked and it's free, collect it, because you're just passing up money otherwise. Anyway, this is Chief Sarkan. I am going to let you go. I hope you, like I said, I'm rambling now. I hope you enjoy the video, and I hope you subscribe or follow the channel. And we see you again in a live stream and or future video. Please leave me some comments down below if you have feedback, questions, comments, or concerns. Anyway, this is me signing out. See ya.